Hello and welcome to my Sunday from. Today is a inspired recipe by a purchase I had bought in a haul. So I did a whole Cheesecake Factory meal. But for my drink I got grape. I'm not sure what they have to drink. I don't even remember, honey. I only go there with my kids. So then I got a avocado toast, some seasoned fries. I seasoned them with Julio's and the pork rib on a roll. And I put, actually, on all of them, I put chile limon on all of. I just threw chile limon just to make it snazzy, honey. Look at this. Avo toast, seasoned fries, Julio's chips, seasoned fries, and a Cheesecake Factory style McRib. Yeah. Does it look ridiculous? No? Honey, we're doing it wrong. This is the red pill. Or y'all are doing it wrong. This is my dinner. Oh, that's so good. That is Powerade Zero, I think. But I put it in a cup so we look fancy. And tenedor. Always gotta have it wrapped, honey. And then I don't even remember how you tear into these things, but like avo toast is with your hand. I was gonna cut it in half. I wasn't sure how people eat it. I don't really eat it a lot. That's really good. It's just half a avocado with onions and peppers. And like I said, I put chile limon on it. That's so good. So let's try the pork rib. And I made this pork rib from a microwave dinner, a TV dinner, a frozen entree, literally, right out the box. I just boiled it in its sauce and then topped it with pickles and onions. And then I made a roll for it by hand from scratch. It's definitely worth all this time I took to make it, because I took quite an enormous amount of my day cooking this stuff up. Here's the damage. It looks like baby bites, but boy, this is so good. So last but not least, let's try the fries. And these are like steak cut fries. I like fancy fries whenever I make something more expensive. Leave the skin on. I just boil them and then I put them to bake. And then once they get tender, I season them and then toss them and then bake them. So they don't ever like actually touch oil. but they're just as crispy. So thanks to you guys, Cole Thomas Allen was actually formally charged with the assassination of Donald J. Trump, our second-term president of the United States of America, and he's facing the 2 other weapons charges. And I feel like we still need to make sure that we're aware, of the situation, because you can talk about it how you want and make yourself famous off of this whole, like they make themselves famous off of propaganda that's anti-government and pro-assassination, this political violent atmosphere, all this commentary, they're just profiting off of it by uploading it, publishing it, writing it, printing it, and they're making themselves, go up, even in status, but the actual cause for America to be united, you lost the plot. And that's what's sad. That's what's sad. Is that the sickness that is the American patriot is a sickness that is the propagators, the, homegrown terrorists, the people who normalize this whole entire, what do you even call it? Uprising. Let's just call it uprising. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. We ain't gonna sugarcoat shit on MDF channel. We're just gonna be blunt and upfront, because I don't know about y'all. I'm tired of it. And now is the time for us to, come together in strength and push back and say, you know what? You went too far. How you like that? Push back and say, you know what? You're gonna face the consequences for what you took part in. How about this? The next time you utter a word, you will be penalized for it. So long as you continue this manifesto, I mean, how many times do you run into that? How many times do you get exposed to that? How many times are kids desensitized by that? Think about it. If we band together and in unison, push back, give them back what they, started with us. Like, give it back to them. They want violence, put them to jail. They want to distribute propaganda, take them to court. They want to recruit. You know what I'm saying? Let's start an investigation and take them all down to the fullest extent of the law. I don't see why this type of rhetoric isn't more normalized. I don't see why this type of situation where people hold accountability for their crime isn't a real thing. It's not realized by anybody. And that says a lot for the plight that the Trump admin is currently facing. So you can talk all the crap you want, but what president would, one, what president would put up with that? Two, what president would, would actually listen to every single complaint? What president do you know, would say, hey, you know what? You're exactly why I am so, how do you say, down bad right now. And you know what I'm saying? And just push even harder. Every single day that he wakes up as American president, he works that much harder to fight for our free nation. The only true democratic country in the globe. So, I mean, next time you want to talk all the crap you want to talk, but like I said, y'all voted for him. And the majority of people, if you brought his name into a conversation, it would spark something inside of them of delight. You will not find another president like that. I just have a lot to say about this whole thing. And I do take it personally because, majority of my time growing up, I spent in America. And it's just really, this is a really tragic twist to, I can live anywhere in any country I want. I could, literally. But to be a part of something that so many people believe in, and just to toss it away in exchange for a promise that all the rights will be wronged, when those people didn't even ask you, how were you wronged? Were you wronged? Or look into how you were wronged. If you were wronged, see, they just come with, oh, well, you're a victim. That's their opening. That's their cold open to a bunch of, like I said, propaganda that just brainwashing our children. And I'm trying to talk about this. It's a subject that I feel like is very sensitive because it affects my family, and I would never pull them from their community to live abroad unless it was like a thing that we wanted to do as a family. And to think that it's better off that way is not cool. I've already done that in Texas. So for the whole thing to be blown out of proportion is what I feel like inside. Because you guys don't understand what behind the scenes that government has inched in did genocide and then continued into another administration. So they are still pushing for the genocide that they started. So when they have all these promises for you, but all their funds are going to Israel or whatever y'all call it, you know what I mean? Like, you already got sold a timeshare. I don't know how else to spell it out for you, but the life that you live is a facade, and all your invested energy, your time and resources have, you know, they're expending by the minute, you know, if you haven't exhausted them already. And to think that you as a person, a member of your community, you know, could possibly be exposing others by just taking part of that as well, at the same time coming to the same tables that you have always come to and playing those roles, by mixing with that crowd, you are in fact allowing residential areas and, like I said, neighborhoods to be exploited by the same individuals. So it's not a matter of normalization at this point. You aren't exactly a public figure. It would be more like, you know, I think it would be more on a personal level and a very real level. And especially since you don't have the protections that people like us are granted, you will understand the consequences in a very, very heavy way. Because the gravity in which we're talking about these anti-government people, they're murderers. They're monsters. And they have disgraced us. So we want to take our name back. You see what I mean? Like, this isn't their America. This is your America. And until you understand what was at stake, you won't get it. Yeah. Because the way I see it, they come in from the side. They come in from the side and behind. And before they know it, they're knocking at your front door, asking you to vote for one of their foot soldiers. So today, I saw Camilla and the King of England at the White House. It was so special. It was so wonderful. I think it's an experience of a lifetime because, wow, the star power there. But I mean, I usually like the avocado toast. I don't know why. I'm eating it because like I don't want to waste. But I think it's really good. It's just such a like light fare item to me. I don't know, maybe it's this. So, but to me, every time I see something crazy, I automatically think, I automatically think that I'm the last person to find out, and that the people who experience this, you know, all the time, they really either are fond of it or don't care enough. But this is how I view things. I say, well, you know what? I'm here now. I can do something about it because I'm here now. And because I'm here now, you know, obviously, maybe they're not going to expect it. So maybe it'll work. Hell, maybe it won't because maybe they're used to getting their way and that's why they act like this. Or sometimes, I say to myself, you deserve better. Your day would have been so much greater and better without this. And sometimes I say to myself, um, that my experience should have been better. It should have been better. They should not have done what they did or are doing what they're doing. They should be clocked for it. And I, as a concerned citizen, immediately, you know, am deciding that, yeah, my train of thought is correct. That, I do deserve a better experience when I walk this earth, when I walk these streets, when I'm going through life. You know, I shouldn't have to be constantly bombarded with a bunch of um, degenerate behaviors. So that's how I see things when I say stay vigilant. Like, that's just how I am. You can't talk me out of it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, well, they messed up. God forgive them. Maybe we can be friends. I don't think that way. I think, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, I'm offended. Stop doing that right now. And I'm going to make sure you stop doing that because I don't like it. I didn't like having to deal with it, much less having to be exposed to it. And I surely didn't appreciate having my day interrupted by it. You know, like I could go on with life without you, knowing that you exist or that you behave this way. That's how I see things, to be honest. And that's why it's hard for me to understand the way things are right now. But they are that way. And it's not until that you do your part, you know? Like I do mine every time I leave the house, or I'm online, or, just as a person in general. I opt towards activation or opt towards participation. You know, I opt towards doing something positive so that way this will never happen again and our future is safer for acting, you know, accordingly. Like be more responsive. And that's what I have to say about it. But like I said, thank goodness he has that charge, and the only thing left is for it to stick. And I believe that we can do this. Like we can put him away and he can receive the punishment, the fitting punishment, because obviously that's a lot of people that were on his list. That was a broad list. It was like he was so proud to be a mass shooter for his Kamala Harris. Like, it's sad, but that's the way people are right now. And we need to, understand this is real. Those are real people, those are real human beings. And not only that, but it was a hotel, a public place. And I'm just rambling at this point. So I'm going to talk to y'all on the next one. And like I said, I was supposed to do another recipe, but I decided to try out this Copycat Cheesecake Factory and see how I liked it. And I mean, I like it, but I think I'd rather go to this Cheesecake Factory. That's just me. I mean, I love homemade food, home cooked bread. Like, this is really good. And I liked shopping for all the fresh ingredients too. But, you know, I just think I want to go and experience that. Like, I don't know. You guys hype it up so much. I want to see. Like I just wanted to know which things do y'all pick and stuff like that. Because like I go to Red Lobster, I go to Chili's, I go everywhere that y'all say, but like I don't think I order mom stuff. So so I think that's why maybe this isn't working out either. But like I said, thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, my Sunday Front. Bye-bye.